Watching Beto O'Rourke's presidential ambitions unravel in real time, it's almost hard to remember the captivating magic he conjured during his campaign for the U.S. Senate, which ended just 7 months ago. Enthusiasm has fizzled and O'Rourke has sunk in the polls as he struggles to make the case for why Democratic voters should choose him, a relatively undistinguished three-term congressman, from among almost 24 senators, governors and one former vice president. It's not surprising, then, that O'Rourke was eager to tout the premiere of the crooked media-produced documentary released by HBO this week. Running with Beto, his campaign wrote in an email to reporters, captures the historic grassroots energy that drove O'Rourke's 2018 Senate campaign. That glowing endorsement tells you much of what you need to know about the film, a sentimental scrapbook of the former congressman's long-shot bid. Filmmaker David Modigliani moved to Texas a decade and a half ago to pursue playwriting at the University of Texas, Austin. He thought he might write a play about the small town where George W. Bush purchased a ranch shortly before launching his bid for president, but ended up directing a documentary, the 2008 film Crawford, instead. The Boston native stuck around and, 10 years later, was on a baseball diamond in Austin playing against Los Diablitos de El Paso when he encountered the subject of his next film. Beto jumped up on a hay bale in the 7th inning stretch, brushed his hair aside, dirty uniform, and it's like, oh, this guy's a movie star. You could tell immediately that he was a generational political talent, Modigliani recalls. That was very clear to me. After following O'Rourke's campaign for 19 months, Modigliani's feelings about the candidate remain as ardent as ever, and they come across in the film. Modigliani is an independent documentarian, but it's unclear what would have been materially different about running with Beto if he were the campaign's official videographer instead. That is not to say the film isn't useful. It's nice to have such an artifact, in the same way it's nice to have a wedding video to dig out every few years and remember what it felt like when everything was still full of hope and promise. Modigliani didn't know for sure how the campaign would end when he began editing the film in May 2018, 6 months before the election. Starting early was necessary, Modigliani explains, as he had more than 700 hours of footage by the end of the campaign and was determined to get the film out quickly.